Okay, welcome back. Last time we basically just went around and cleaned up the in-game world while we had Numamon. I then let Numamon turn into Sukamon so I could talk to King Sukamon to turn it back to Numamon. And then we went to Toy Town and finally got Monzaemon. Honestly, the kind of annoying part is Toy Town itself took all of maybe 15 minutes. Toy Town itself took maybe 15-20 minutes, and as a result of completing Toy Town, we managed to get Monzaemon's stuffed animal to come to the city, and we also got Nanimon to come and join the city after we talked to it a 5th time. Now, the plan for today's episode is going to be a little bit all over the place, primarily for one main reason. That reason being, I don't really know what to do at this point. I don't really know what to do at this point, mostly just because, well, I have every Digimon that I can get to come and join the city. The only ones that I don't have are on Mount Infinity. However, I don't really want to take on Mount Infinity with a Monzaemon. So what I want to do is basically kind of just go around the world. Also, I stocked up on a whole bunch of medium recoveries here, so if I need to, I can also go and do the thing to trade it for discs, to trade for money. Go trade those for discs, trade those for money, get more stuff, and so on and so forth. However, I also want to get a couple of new moves for Monzaemon. And by Monzaemon, I mean Monzaemon will be using them, but they will also go on to potentially any future Digimon we get. Because this should... Okay, so, if I've calculated this correctly, which I should have calculated it correctly, Monzaemon should be my second last Digimon here. Basically, my current plan is I'm going to go through this cycle, eventually Monzaemon will fade away, then I get my final thing, I just put everything into that, and I just go and then I just go and launch an all-out attack on Mount Infinity. And from there I finish Mount Infinity, and after that we're just about done. There is a couple of things to do in the post-game, in order to max out the final couple of things, but in general, we are very close to being done with this. So you may be wondering, why am I going in and out of View of Adele Cemetery? The answer is, I need Soulmon to appear. I need Soulmons to appear out here. They can... Pretty much every time you enter the Overdell Cemetery, you can spawn either Tsukaimon or Soulmon. I need the Soulmon to appear. Mostly because Soulmon, there we go, Soulmon all have electric moves, which is a primary source of attack for Monzaemon. And there's one main move that they can use that I can learn from them. They have a move called Megalo Spark, which I would quite like to be able to pick up. However, the odds of me getting Megalo Spark aren't exactly the best. I know that there's a couple of other Digimon in the game I can learn it from, but my odds of learning it aren't great. Actually, I think you can also get it from Shima Unimon, and honestly, the odds of learning it from Shima Unimon might be better than Soulmon. But at the same time, I feel like fighting Soulmon is probably easier, and I can also probably learn more stuff. Okay, we just dodge that without too much hassle. So pretty much all I need to do is just dodge around until it uses Megalo Spark. You'll know Megalo Spark when you see it. It'll make a different sound. It'll make a different sound, and also, it is a move that does a lot more damage than all of its other moves, and it comes out a lot faster. Basically, if you've seen in some of our previous fights, a couple of enemies have basically made this giant dark ball of electricity, and just kind of thrown that out, and it comes out super fast. I think Kokatorimon used it. I want to say Kokatorimon used it against us. Honestly, if I could have learned it from that, that would have cut out the middleman on this and made things a lot easier, but I don't think Kabuterimon could have learned it. No, wait, I think I fought... No, I fought Kokatorimon when I had Kabuterimon and lost. I fought Kokatorimon again when I had Greymon and won. Okay, so, with that, we take out this first Soulmon. In a perfect world, I just learned this immediately. No, but we did get it straight away. That's amazing. Okay, so, I got a medium MP and learned Megalo Spark. That is about as perfect as that could have possibly been. So, Megalo Spark is one of, if not the best move in the game. Mostly because it is insanely powerful. 382, so it hits harder than Megaton Punch. Actually, I'll put them side by side so you can see. So yeah. The Megalo Spark costs less, hits harder, and costs less, hits harder. And I can also use Muscle Charge now as well. I could just have 2 moves to boost up my stats and then Megalo Spark. You know what? Let's just keep all of them on, just because I can. Why not? Realistically, I have no reason to be in the Overdell Cemetery anymore, so let's leave. Okay, we dodge the Tsukaimon, and it isn't even daytime yet. Wow, I'm genuinely really happy with that, because I got through that first try. To be totally honest, I was fully prepared. I was fully prepared for that to be like a half-hour, 45-minute ordeal trying to learn that. You know what? Let's test this against a Garurumon. Okay, so this is a wild Garurumon. Obviously, it isn't the most powerful wild Digimon in the game, but let's see how tough it is and how much a Megalo Spark does. Okay, that's one. We just walk ride that. Megalo Spark comes out, barely just one-shots it. That's why Megalo Spark in this game is absurd. It comes out so fast and it does so much damage. Like, a couple of enemies had hit me with it previously, so I knew what I was kind of getting into with it. So, yeah, I'm glad that I have access to it. Also, now we can, give Monzaemon some sirloin, because, it's a good egg, it deserves it. Also, Megalo Spark, I can compare it to Prominence Beam, even. It's a little bit weaker than Prominence Beam, but it costs less, and also, at the same time, it comes out so much faster. Because Prominence Beam has a kind of long wind-up time. Prominence Beam has a pretty long wind-up. Meanwhile, Megalo Spark just flies through. You just click the button and it's like, okay, it does it. And it just comes out super fast. Comes out super fast, hits super hard. It's easily one of the best moves in the entire game. Okay, that's a Gotsumon. I probably can't learn anything from that. There's probably a Sand Yanmamon here. No, it's not a Gotsumon. I probably should have guessed that because I didn't hear the very loud buzzing of a Sand Yanmamon. I don't think I can get at Monzaemon to the bathroom in time from here. Did that work? It did not. I probably should have been able to guess that. I should have been able to guess that because I didn't see Monzaemon kind of have a little sit-down. Monzaemon loves to have a little sit-down when it eats. Okay, so, now we enter Freeze Land. You know what, just for fun, I might take out a couple of Hyugamon while I'm here. Oh, there's also an Ice Devimon. They'll be on the next screen over. They'll be on the next screen over. I might as well, let Monzaemon have a couple more fights. Like, I might as well just let him fight a bit. Because, hey, you know what? I ain't losing. I have Megalo Spark, I ain't losing. Okay, so let's see how tough this Hyugamon is. Gonna be honest, I'm still a little bit worried about Hyugamon. I'm still worried about Hyugamon because I know that it has Ice Statue. I think it's called Ice Statue. It's some ice move, and it comes out super fast, and it hits really hard. And it can also stun for like 10 full seconds. Which, obviously, I know that I've stated it a couple of times previously, but I feel like in any other game, having a full 10-second stun would be ridiculous. Like, imagine you're playing... imagine, like, any other RPG. Imagine an action RPG where something gets stuns for 10 full seconds. Like, that's so long. Like, 10 full seconds is a very long time in a kind of active environment. Obviously, in a turn-based one, it's a bit less of an issue. But also, at the same time, like, maybe if I used one of the Final Fantasies from around about this time as the example. So in Final Fantasy... I'm gonna go with 7, 8, and 9. Actually, did 8 use it? I know 9 did, and I think 7 did as well. Oh. Sorry, did that Hyugamon just say you can't be right or left? Like, buddy, you are stood directly in front of that sign. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, in the old Final Fantasies, you had, like, this little bar that filled up, and when the bar was filled, you could take that character's turn. So imagine if there was a move that just kind of stalled that for 10 full seconds. That would be ridiculously strong. Also, disclaimer, I never played that. I never actually finished Final Fantasy VII. I didn't care enough. And also, I never played Final Fantasy VIII. I've already talked about Final Fantasy IX. Oh, yo, Hyugamon dropped a sirloin. Huge. So yeah, I've never really finished those games. The only Final Fantasy I have finished is 10. At some point, I intend on remedying that, but still, you get what I mean. So yeah, so potentially freezing that for 10 full seconds would be ridiculously powerful. Okay. Okay, sorry, Snow Agumon, I don't know what gets you mad, but okay. Like, that gets me mad. Buddy, what are you talking about? Insert the meme image of what is blood waffling about. Oh, this thing has a lot of health. Snow Agumon has like 3,000? I mean... Oh, that's a very minor inconvenience to me. Okay, fine, I'll use a medium MP. And now we can just take it out. Okay. How far away can I use Megalo Spark from? Okay, it seems like it's actually a much closer range ability than I think it is. But either way, it's still ridiculously good, so I can't really complain. Also, Snow Agumon, thanks, I guess. Snow Agumon dropped a medium MP, meaning I effectively traded nothing in that fight. Because I used a medium MP, and it dropped one for me after I won, so, hey, net positive. I would say, like, it would be broke even, but it ended up being a net positive because I also got more money than I had. And now we just dodge the Hyugamon. Why? I mean, I could just fight them and win very easily, but I don't really see much point. Now then, I'm going to go and get 6 more of these, and then we are going to go trading. Although I do need to be a little bit careful because I do know that Monzaemon can unintentionally kind of trap you in, which is not what I want to happen. I would quite like to avoid that happening, if at all possible. I think you need to trade like 30 or 40 times for it to happen, though. So the odds of it happening are extremely low. Also, I have plenty of food, so I don't need to worry too much about it. Because I can also just go and buy as much meat as I need. I'll also trade out a super carrot, because I think I had one. Yeah, I had one, and I'll trade that out for an Omni Floppy. That basically acts as a... not necessarily a full restore, but it's kind of like one in Pokemon. Think of it as a weaker full restore in Pokemon, where... well, it'll cure your status ailments, and it'll heal your MP and your HP. Which, now that I think about it, Pokemon doesn't use MP, but honestly... Okay, so the following statement might sound a little bit weird, but when playing Pokemon, I never really care for Ethers. Like, I never use them. Like, I don't know if that's because that... don't know if that's because you can't just buy them, but, like, even in situations where I feel like, hey, maybe I need a few more PP for some of these, I end up just not using them. I do think it's genuinely because they are very limited. You can't just buy them. Like, what happens if I run out of potions? I go and buy more. If I run out of PP, I kind of need to or a leper berry. But obviously, I can't just go and buy more of them. Leper berries are obviously a bit more, you know, whatchamacallit. What's the word? What is the word for it? I've forgotten what the word is. That you can use them a lot more frequently. Not recyclable, but, like, pretty much. Like, you can use them a lot more. Also, how many of these do I have left? I still have 11. Okay, I'm gonna be leaving this area with quite a bit of money, aren't I? And then I can come back and do this again and again and again if I need to. This is effectively the game giving you an infinite money glitch without telling you that you have an infinite money glitch. It is infinite money with just a very, very minor amount of effort. Like, this just prints money. Is it technically cheating? Yeah, maybe, but also, you know what? It beats having to do all of the grinding for money. You know what? Also, realistically, I could probably manage if I just bought more large recoveries, large MP things. But hey, the option is available to me, so why not? Also, gonna be totally honest, Digimon World is a game that, in many ways, it doesn't really like the player, so you know what? I'm not gonna feel bad about using it this way. Monzaemon, I need you to use the autopilot. I'm stuck inside the character model of this Monzaemon. Monzaemon, I need you to do this for me, buddy. I am quite literally stuck. There we go. Thank you, Monzaemon. I don't know the logic of how the autopilot works, but hey, I'm just gonna narrow it down to, oh, digital world shenanigans. Right. So, I have no idea what I'm gonna do now, because I probably have several in-game days. I probably have several in-game days before Monzaemon fades away, and I have nothing to do. And I don't want to take on Mount Infinity with a Monzaemon. So, I'm at a little bit of a loss. I'm currently at a little bit of a loss. Also, if I really wanted to, I could just buy, how many of these could I buy? Yeah, I could buy 14 restores and just kind of walk through to Mount Infinity, but I'm not going to. Okay, so, what do? I think what I will do is I'll go and talk to Vegemon. I'll go and talk to Vegemon. Maybe do no, I won't do a tiny bit of fishing. Maybe I go and buy cards. Yeah, I could do that, because I've done everything else. And I do basically, I think what I'm gonna do, I think what I'll do is I'll finish this episode, and then okay. So for the entirety of this series, I've shown everything. I've shown all of the training. I've shown absolutely everything. But also, this is basically there's still unknown Pokemon, but finish your priority work first. Yeah, that's Angemon saying you've got everyone. So what I'm gonna do is I will go and I'll finish out this episode. I should probably have bought healing items. Yeah, I'll finish out this episode. Then what I'll do, I will finish out this episode. Then I'll start the next episode at probably the egg selection phase once Monzaemon fades away. Do all that training. Then we just kind of go for it as soon as we hit Mount. As soon as I hit a point where I feel like I'm ready for Mount Infinity, then I'll probably just go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stock up. Your Honor, we are stocking up. I think this is probably going to be more than enough anyway, to be honest. And I will also buy... I'll buy 4 double flops for my own convenience. And just in case I decide I need more money, I will currently buy 16 medium recoveries. And I'll just spend the rest on cards. Okay. It's a Digimon card vending machine. I can buy... you can get a card for 100 bits. Okay, let's try it. Digitamamon, Nanimon, Entomon, Otamamon, Vegemon, Umon, Nanimon, Vegemon, Umon, Piximon, Nanimon, Umon, Angemon, Vegemon, Greymon, Vegemon, Numamon, Nanimon, Vegemon. You know, I feel like how many did I get there? So I got... No, I already had Sukamon. Vegemon, I got 9 Vegemons, 9 Numamons, and 9 Nanimons. I got so many of them. I mean, I already had a few. Like, I got Greymon, I got Digitamamon, I got Piximon, I got Amamon, I think I got Yanmamon, I got Tentomon, I think I already had Monochromon, I got Angemon. So, what I could actually do, you know what, I'll go and do that, because it'll fill in a little bit of time. It will fill in just a little bit of time, and you know what, sometimes we need to fill in some time. And also, it's part of the game that I hadn't really shown until now. I kind of went through the area and then went, okay, cool, that's it, that's the area. Also, hey, actually, you know what? How much damage can I do to a Madoki Betamon in one hit? That's what I wonder. How much will a Megalo Spark do to this thing? Like, I don't know how its defense compares to a Dark Rizamon or a Garurumon or something. Let's see how much this does. Bang! 1079. Okay, that's actually about the same. That's a little bit weird. I kind of assumed that they all had different stats, but I kind of assumed that a wild Digimon's stats would be different, but I guess that just didn't feel like working that way today. Also, I'm going to be totally honest, I have no idea which way would actually be faster for me to get to where I need to be for this. So, I'm potentially playing a little bit of a risky game here. Oh, also, something else I need to do right now for my own sanity and convenience is I want to sort by... Yeah, sure, close enough. But yeah, pretty much, when I go into Mount Infinity, I'm going to have everything. Like, I'm going to pull all of my healing items out of the bank. Everything is going to be used. Obviously, I'll keep a few item spots spare, because I know that there's PCs and stuff to pick up things in Mount Infinity. But yeah, once I step into Mount Infinity, I think I just take out the place. Genuinely, I'm pretty sure with Megalo Spark, I handle any and everything that can happen. Okay, so let's just sidestep, and sidestep, and sidestep, and 10 out of 10, we just make it through. Okay. Now, just because you know what, just one last time. I really love the music in Gear Savannah. It's just got such a good sound to it. It's got such a good, almost indescribable sound to it. Maybe it's because I'm terrible at describing some things. I know that it's very, very rare. I think it's like 1 or 2%. But I know that there's a super secret item that can spawn here. Okay, that Akatorimon also. Like, but basically, there's an item that can spawn in this area called, I think it's the Chain Melon. And that is basically, I'm pretty sure it just increases the lifespan of your Digimon by like a full day. Which is quite impressive. That's pretty handy to have. Okay, so Psychemon, I now know, has 900 HP. Okay, so Spinning Shot, I think that is. The one that kind of just shot out that saw blade. Oh, come on. It lived on 1. Really? That's just me game, really. It lived on 1 HP. Yeah, so I think it's called Spinning Shot. The one that basically just shoots a saw blade. That thing, that comes out ridiculously quickly. Also, I probably should have just gone for double flop. But yeah, that move that Psychemon is using, the one where it's kind of just like, clawing in front of the air in front of itself, and it's locked into that animation for a good few seconds. Yeah, that's why Gabumon is awful to start this game with, in my opinion. Because Agumon starts the game with Spitfire, so it has a kind of quick move. It has a move that just comes out quickly, does okay damage, and doesn't cost much. Meanwhile, you have Gabumon, who starts the game with Sonic Jab, and that move comes out very slowly. And regardless of if you hit or miss, you are locked to that animation for a few seconds. And that is dire to have to deal with. I remember when I was a kid, I always wanted to start this game with Gabumon, because I liked Gabumon more than I liked Agumon. But ultimately, I always kind of just defaulted back to playing the game starting with Agumon. Mostly because I didn't really have the patience to sit and grind for all the stats that I would need. And also, on top of that, it would just take forever. It just takes forever. Because, you know, fights with Gabumon take way longer. They take way longer than with Agumon. Agumon can win fights with just Spitfire. Meanwhile, Gabumon is waiting on stuff. You know what? Let's fight these Yanmamon. I don't think I can learn Spinning Shot with Monzaemon, but if I could, that'd be super nice. Mostly just because having high damaging moves that come out fast is always going to be welcome. Okay, that's going to take 2 hits each. These are going to be 2 hits each. Which means I'm probably going to have to use more, you know, I'll use a double flop. I'll use a double flop to restore both. Although, it is absolutely clear to me that, having a medium recovery and a medium MP would actually be more beneficial. It would be, better value for money to do it that way. Mostly because buying one of each would cost 1,300, but buying the double flop is 1,500. But also you are paying, I guess you are paying the additional 200 for the convenience of having mods. Because sometimes you can find yourself in a pretty bad situation unintentionally. Either way, Megalo Spark annihilates those 2 Yanmamon in the end. Now, can I have learned either of their moves? I probably can't. Yep, but hey, I got a decent chunk of money. Okay, I say that, but the 2 of them dropped, I think, less than a single Tankmon did in the previous episode. Although, to be fair, Tankmon had like 3,400 health or something. Although, Tankmon also wasn't putting up with Megalo Spark, so... Now, can I navigate around these Yanmamon and get, I can, 10 out of 10. I can navigate around those Yanmamon and get Monzaemon to the toilet just in time. I'm not going to question how that worked. I think it's probably for the best if I don't. Okay, we grab another Digimushroom and we head on out to the Volume Villa. So now I can go and trade out these cards that I have, well, these cards that I have duplicates of, to Shogun Gekomon, who is the king of the Volume Villa, the king of Gecko Swamp. He's the Shogun Gekomon. Okay, so, let's quickly talk to him and see what he has to say. You want merit too? What are you gonna do? So we will show him a Digimon card. So I can show him the cards we have. Digitamamon. He will give us 30 points for that. I will trade. Actually, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't have traded a Digitamamon. I shouldn't have traded it. No. Yeah, so depending on how rare the card is, he will give you more or less points for it. For example, Numamon is basically worthless, so he will give you 1 per. So I'm not gonna do this for absolutely everything. I will just kind of show what they do. I'll go until I have 50 points. I don't think I can buy anything without like 150 or 200 or something. I know that they are very expensive in this game. But I know that, Shogun Gakumon would quite like to have, rare stuff. Okay, I can buy a super recovery. Yeah, you need 800 for any of the chips, and you need 500 for the evolution items, and 300 for the amazing rod. So this gets you Frigimon, Coelamon, Shellmon, that's the same, Seadramon, or Airdramon. So these are just like the Digivolution items to get them. Right, so, with that, that is me having successfully shown what Volume Villa is, and honestly, I'm probably going to come back here at some point just to finish off getting all of the cards. Because honestly, I would quite like to show off a full collection of the cards by the end. Okay, so, Monzaemon, I need you to listen to. Thanks for your cooperation, Monzaemon, you're doing good. Thanks, Monzaemon, you did good work. Right, okay, so back to File City we go. And I'm just gonna pass a few in-game hours real quick. Which means, back to the gym we go, because each time you do something at the gym, it passes 1 in-game hour. And I think I've talked to Digimon today, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly just, do this a couple of times until Monzaemon needs sleep, and then I will end off the episode. You know what? I'm gonna do defense because it's kind of bugging me that I'm just a tiny bit short of 300. So we do that once, that should bring us up to 304. 309, in fact. Okay. Basically, once it ticks over to kind of being sunset-y, I think that's when Monzaemon becomes tired. Apparently not. I'll do probably 1 more, and then it should probably be ready. Okay. Fantastic. Great. Now, Monzaemon should probably be tired. No? Maybe it's nighttime when it gets tired. Like, proper nighttime. There we go. Okay. Monzaemon, do you need to go to the bathroom first? Because I don't want to, that to happen. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save and end off this episode here. I'll start off the next one at the choice for the egg, and I'm just going to kind of let I'll do probably a few things off screen and let Monzaemon eventually fade away. Because obviously because I don't want to do Mountain Infinity with Monzaemon. I want to get something else for my final Digimon. But I'm going to end off today's episode here. As always, feel free to leave a comment or click any of the buttons down below if you feel so inclined. And I will hopefully see you all next time for what should be the beginning of the end for Digimon World. Okay, thanks for watching. Later.